Hi everyone, it's Chris from Calla Lily Studios. I'm here today. I thought I would share with you a style of card that I found when I was at the gift store. I found this cute type of card where I call it the flip and tuck. I don't know what it really is called, where it makes its own base. It has its own base so it can stand up. But the nice thing about it is you can take it apart, flip it up here, and send it in a mailer. It's a standard size card. And then when the recipient opens it, you just tuck it under and it stands on its own. I really thought it was cute. I've made a few different sizes just to experiment with the base and how big you want it. I guess that really is up to you. And then I've also gone taller, and it still works fine when you go to a taller size. Here's the biggest one that I've made. I think this one is a let me see. It is a 7 by 5 card, so that's a pretty big card. And it still works with that just fine. I love the way it stands, and again, the fact that you can put it in a regular size envelope for the mail. So I thought I'd just give a quick tutorial on how to make the card. I cut in this size card, which is a standard size card. It's going to fit in your, let's see, in this envelope here, which is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. So I made my, you're going to have to cut two pieces of 4, this one's 4.5 by 6, 4.5 by 6. So you're going to cut a piece of cardstock 4.5 by 6 inches long. On the next piece you're going to do 4.5 wide, but you're going to make it 8.5 inches long. And you're going to score it at the 6-inch mark. So basically what you end up with, as you can see, you've got two pieces that are the same size except for this bottom flap on the second piece. You're going to have 2.5 inches here. So this one is 4.5 by 6, this one's 4.5 by 8.5, and you score it at the 6-inch line. Once you're going to take this piece, and I use my grid here to kind of help me. You're going to make the little tab that tucks under. What you want to do is with your pencil, a 1/2 inch in, and one of these grid things is a 1/2 inch. A half inch in, you're going to, and me, because I'm very visual, I don't like to measure, but you're going to make a mark a 1/2 inch in at the 1.5 inches down from the top. I mark it with a pencil, and then I also mark it on the same line 1.5 inches in. And you try to make it straight. And then what you want to do is cut on that line, just up to where it stops. You can use your cutter, which is what I usually do, but just so it's in camera here, I'm going to cut 1.5 inches in on one side and on the other, and a 1/2 inch in depth. And then you're just going to take it and angle that cut. So you come up with a tab. Mine looks just a little crooked, but I think it still will work fine. So then, to make the insert, you're going to take this piece of cardstock and I line it up so I can see it visually. You're going to line these up, and I do use my grid just so I can get an idea. And then you're going to take your sharpest X-Acto knife, and I do it, trying to remember, I do it about 3/4 of an inch in, and 3/4 of an inch is about right about here, and I try and line that up right about there. And then you know you want to cut this slot for this tab to go into the width of the widest part of the slot. So I'm going to start here. I like to use this metal knife and go right up against it. And you can repeat it several times to make it go through. Make sure you've gone through. And then, before I do anything else, I just make sure it fits. And there you go. So that's your tab. So that's all it takes. And then when you're done with this, let's see, I got a pencil mark on it here. Just erase that. We'll put that on the inside. You're going to take, and what I use is score tape, because I love score tape. Your double-sided tape. This actually is your front of your card. This will be the back of your card, and you run the score tape. This is a 1/4 inch, I believe. And I suppose you could use an 1/8 of an inch, but along the top, burnish it, and then remove it. And make sure you don't have any tape hanging over the edge. And then you line that up with your, as best you can. Oh boy, which I think is there, and then burnish it again. And you're basically done. You take the tab and put it into the slot, line it up, and then your card is standing. Now, one of the things I do recommend is that you make sure you have a good fold here, because it'll stand nicer if you make sure you have a tight fold right there. So again, put it in your slot, and there's your card. And you can decorate it easily. Just take it out of the slot. Here I've got just a piece of decorative paper that I've put some score tape on, and you can, if I can get it straight, it's the hardest thing for me is getting things straight, decorate the front as you would. Now, the card I saw at the card shop had the sentiment inside, and you can do that. You might be able to put more than one sentiment. You could even decorate the base, but I think I like the idea of putting the sentiment on the back. That way the recipient can see what you've written and read it all day long in the back. So my thought is, and I love this one because this is graphic 45 paper, but I love the way that came out. I just don't know how I'm going to use it at this point. Some of these, I like to make cards ahead of time, so when I do have a need, I've got it ready. So this one, I think I showed on my blog. I'm going to put the sentiment on the back, and I'm just saving it for when I do need a card. But anyway, I thought I'd show you a quick tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a fabulous day.